Now, I want to introduce you to somebody. This very cute baby boy was born in around 1929, and his name is Jeffrey. And he grew up in North London, and when he was growing up, he wanted to be a civil servant commuting to London like his dad. How cute. He thought he was a Christian, and when he went off, after he finished school, he went off to the Royal Navy for 2 years. When he got back from the Royal Navy, he realized, I'm not actually a Christian at all. He thought he was a Christian, but he realized he wanted to be a Christian on his own terms, not on God's terms. And so he realized that God wasn't God to him at all. He had some Christian friends, and he knew that he didn't have what they had. And then he told me about a moment that changed everything. He said he ran into one of those friends one day, and the friend asked him how he was getting on spiritually. And he responded, if I'm honest, I'm getting nowhere. And the friend replied, well, why not just tell God that? And so there, in the middle of a park, Jeffrey started speaking to God for real, out loud. And his people were walking past, and they were staring at him. And his friend kind of said, maybe you should stop praying so loudly. But by that point, he was doing business with God. And he said it was the best thing he's ever done. After that, he went off to university to study history, which he describes as not a very vocational subject, but a good one to understand how things work. He joined the Christian Union. He told others about Jesus. And this part makes me laugh. He fell in love with a medical student who said she was too busy preparing to serve God to date him. I'm like, go girl. But in those uni years, he spent a lot of time with students from Africa, and that stirred something in him, and he realized that God was calling him to be a teacher in Africa. And so he offered himself to a mission. He packed his bags, and he spent nearly 20 years in Nigeria, working shoulder to shoulder with other faithful believers, building scripture unions and student fellowships, and watching God bless the work. Somewhere along the way, on a break back into the UK, he tracked down that same medical student and persuaded her that she might as well serve God with him rather than both of them doing it separately. So she agreed, and they served Jesus together. And when they returned to the UK, he was a church minister for a short while, and then he went back to being a teacher at an all-boys school, where he says there was plenty of opportunities to witness about Jesus. This is great Uncle Jeffrey now at 96. In a very cool photo that he sent me of him and his granddaughter. It's one of those trick ones, and I can't work out how it works. He's not building anything for himself. He's not trying to get a bigger salary. He's not going after the new job. He's not hustling like many of us are. When I asked him what he wanted to say to each of you, he said this: if you follow Jesus all your life, it will get better every year, but it won't get easier. The enemy will try to discourage you, but if you stay open to Jesus day by day, he will help you grow and enjoy his presence in all circumstances. And here's the thing: you won't find great Uncle Jeffrey's story in a newspaper. You won't find his career celebrated on LinkedIn, but what he has done is build a kingdom legacy. As the Bible Project puts it, he has built sky treasure. You see, in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus encourages his listeners not to build up treasure on earth, but to build up treasure in the sky. When we sacrifice our present pleasure and security to better serve God and one another, we will sort of invest in the coming creation where we will have everything we will ever need. And that's exactly what great Uncle Jeffrey has done. He has lived a life marked by faithfulness, marked by prayer, great faith, impact. He is a man who has created a huge kingdom legacy. And so here's the question I believe his story asks us. Are you building a CV that fades or a kingdom legacy that lasts and echoes for eternity? Because I believe God cares far more about your character than he does about your career.